The story of wealth often begins with the simplest things, a quiet, overlooked piece of history hiding in plain sight. Imagine holding a small silver Washington quarter in your hand, minted in 1980 at the Philadelphia Mint. To the casual observer, it might look like just another coin, yet this unassuming quarter could hold the power to transform your life. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1980 Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin so rare, so coveted, that collectors are willing to pay eye-watering sums, with its current market value soaring to an astonishing $954,000. If you thought coins were just pocket change, prepare to be astounded. Let's set the stage. The year 1980 was a time of transformation in the United States, an era of ambition, of dreams realized and fortunes made. And somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, these quarters were being struck, each one carrying with it the promise of history. Most would end up in circulation, lost to the tides of everyday life, but a few slipped through unnoticed, quietly becoming objects of immense desire. Now, this isn't just a story about a coin. It's a story about opportunity, about the thrill of discovery, about the life-altering moment when you realize that something you've held in your hand could be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Here's the secret that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The 1980 Washington quarter is distinguished by specific characteristics: its mint mark, its strike, and the subtle imperfections that the casual eye would overlook. These are the things experts examine, the details that can turn a seemingly common quarter into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And here's where the excitement begins. Every single day, collectors and investors are on the hunt, scanning through bags of coins, searching for that elusive gem. Could one of these quarters be sitting in your drawer, forgotten among the change? Now, that's a question worth pondering, because missing out on such an opportunity could be a regret that lasts a lifetime. But let's pause for a moment. Imagine you're holding this coin, feeling its weight, knowing its story, its journey from mint to circulation, its path to becoming a rare collector's masterpiece. There's a thrill in that knowledge, a rush of excitement that's hard to describe. And, if you think that rarity alone drives value, think again. Demand for these quarters is skyrocketing. Wealthy collectors, investors, and museums are all competing for the chance to own one. And this competition is fierce. Prices have reached unprecedented heights, and the market isn't showing any signs of slowing down. In other words, every moment you hesitate, someone else could claim what might have been yours. Here's a fun little thought: what if your life-changing coin is hiding behind the couch cushions, under an old magazine, or tucked away in a childhood piggy bank? Sounds like a plot twist from a movie, right? But for many, this exact scenario has become reality. Ordinary households have stumbled upon extraordinary treasures, turning ordinary days into moments of unimaginable fortune. And that's the beauty of rare coins: they have the power to surprise, to elevate, and to reward the vigilant. So, what makes this coin so extraordinary? It's the combination of scarcity, condition, and collector demand. These quarters were not intentionally rare, yet here we are, decades later, witnessing a frenzy that elevates them to the status of near-mythical collectibles. Every auction, every private sale, pushes the boundaries of what people are willing to pay. And that's not hyperbole. The current market value of a prime condition 1980 Washington quarter is $954,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a coin that, at one point, might have jingled in someone's pocket as loose change. Can you feel the adrenaline? Because this is real, and the opportunity is real too. But here's the kicker: the story doesn't end with discovery. Selling, securing, and leveraging such a treasure requires knowledge, timing, and strategy. The difference between selling too soon or too late can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. And that's why staying informed, understanding market trends, and acting decisively is critical. Imagine for a moment the excitement of realizing that a seemingly ordinary quarter has become a ticket to financial freedom. Can you picture the possibilities? That's not just excitement, that's empowerment. And before we wrap up, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. Many people think they know how to identify rare coins, but the truth is, only a few truly grasp the nuances that separate an ordinary 1980 Washington quarter from one worth nearly $1 million. Later, we'll reveal the subtle markers, the telltale signs, that can guide you straight to a life-changing discovery. Keep watching, because your hidden treasure might be closer than you think. And if you ever doubted that a simple coin could change a life, the story of the 1980 Washington quarter is here to prove you spectacularly wrong. If you want, I can now create a version optimized for exactly 10 minutes of narration with natural pacing, pauses, and pattern interrupts to keep viewers glued to the screen. It will feel cinematic, almost like a treasure hunting documentary. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, seemingly ordinary, yet worth nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But for collectors and savvy investors, the 1987 D Washington quarter is not just a piece of metal, it's a golden ticket hiding in plain sight. Today, we're diving into a story that could change the way you see your loose change forever. By the end of this video, you may never look at a quarter the same way again. In 1987, the United States Mint released millions of Washington quarters, all bearing the familiar image of our first president. Most were destined to fade into the pockets and jars of everyday Americans, overlooked and underappreciated. But hidden among them were rare variations, subtle errors, and mint marks that transformed an ordinary coin into a treasure of extraordinary value. The D Mint mark, symbolizing Denver, on the right quarter can make collectors' hearts race. It's the small details, often ignored, that carry unimaginable wealth. And here's the kicker: most people toss these coins without a second glance, completely unaware that they're sitting on a fortune worth $975,000 in today's market. Think about that next time you reach for a coffee and pull out a quarter from your wallet. Now, why should this matter to you right now? Because the demand for rare coins is soaring. Wealthy collectors, private investors, and even museums are competing fiercely for these pieces of history. And the window to act is narrowing. Coins that were once sitting unnoticed in drawers are now being snatched up at auctions, online marketplaces, and private sales at jaw-dropping prices. If you have a 1987 D Washington quarter, or even a small collection, you could be holding an asset that can change your life overnight. Picture this: one small coin, one simple decision, and you could be stepping into a world of financial freedom most people only dream of. Let me pause here. Have you ever wondered why something as small as a coin can be worth more than a car, or even a house in some cases? It's not just about rarity, it's about history, precision, and timing. And timing, my friend, is everything. This is where the story gets truly fascinating. Those who recognize the value of these coins early have transformed their lives completely. Ordinary Americans, retirees, even young collectors have discovered their forgotten collections, turned them into fortunes, and secured a lifestyle of abundance. And the 1987 D Washington quarter is not just a collectible, it's a testament to foresight, patience, and a little bit of luck. But here's the cliffhanger: while millions of quarters exist, only a handful carry the mark that makes them priceless. The question is, how do you know if yours is among them? Stay alert, because missing this opportunity could be the difference between financial regret and unimaginable prosperity. And here's the exciting part: by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is highly sought after, how to identify it, and what makes collectors willing to pay nearly $1 million for just one. So, the next time you find a dusty old quarter, don't dismiss it. Look closely at that tiny D Mint mark. It could be the key to unlocking a fortune you never imagined. History, rarity, and opportunity collide in this coin, and it's in your hands to act before someone else does. For those who seize the moment, wealth, recognition, and a life of financial freedom await. For those who wait, the chance may never come again. Remember, this isn't just about coins, it's about creating a legacy, building wealth, and embracing the thrill of discovery. The 1987 D Washington quarter is more than currency, it's a story, a challenge, and an opportunity. And if you keep your eyes open, you might just be holding a piece of history worth nearly $1 million. Imagine holding in your hand a piece of history, a small, unassuming quarter that could instantly transform your financial destiny. The year is 1984. The city? Denver. And this is not just any Washington quarter. This is the 1984 D Mint mark quarter, a coin whose rarity and flawless craftsmanship have captured the attention of collectors and investors worldwide. While most quarters from this era pass through hands unnoticed, this particular coin quietly whispers a promise, the promise of wealth beyond imagination. Today, its current market value has reached an astonishing $954,000. Pause for a second. Imagine walking past your old coin jar, not realizing that a fortune is hiding in plain sight. Would you recognize it? Or would you let it slip through your fingers? Now, before you start doubting, let me stop you right there. I know what you're thinking: $954,000? For a quarter? That can't be real. But in the world of rare coins, the numbers are not a joke, and the stakes are higher than you think. In fact, this quarter isn't just currency, it's a gateway to a lifestyle reserved for those who understand opportunity when it glints before their eyes. And here's the kicker: most people overlook it entirely, leaving the door wide open for those who are bold enough to step through. Let's rewind and explore why the 1984 D Washington quarter has captured the fascination of collectors and investors alike. The D mint mark signifies that it was minted in Denver, and while thousands of quarters were produced, only a select few emerged in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins have a clarity, a sheen, and a perfection that seems almost supernatural, like they were preserved by time itself. This isn't mere chance. It's destiny for those who can spot true value. Now, here's a little secret the mainstream won't tell you: the coin market is volatile, unpredictable, and brutally competitive. One misstep, one hesitation, and you could miss out on a chance to own a treasure that appreciates exponentially over time. In other words, this is not a hobby, this is strategic wealth building. But before you panic, take a breath. It's also thrilling. Imagine the excitement of knowing that in your collection lies a coin that commands six-figure attention, and in some cases, even more. Every glance at that quarter reminds you that the ordinary can hide the extraordinary. And a quick side note: funny enough, many people mistake these coins for everyday quarters. You might even be tempted to toss one in a vending machine or give it as pocket change. Don't do it. That would be a financial tragedy in slow motion. Instead, recognize its potential, its rarity, and the legacy it carries. Every curve of Washington's profile, every glint in the metal, tells a story, and stories like this don't stay hidden for long. So, what does this mean for you, right now? First, it's an invitation, a rare opportunity to step into a world where foresight and courage meet. Owning a 1984 D Washington quarter isn't just about the monetary value. It's about belonging to a select group of collectors, investors, and visionaries who understand that true wealth often begins with recognizing the extraordinary in the ordinary. The urgency is real. Every day, these coins are changing hands, quietly appreciating, quietly commanding attention. Hesitate, and you might find yourself reading about someone else's fortune, wishing you had acted sooner. But act, and you enter a world where a single quarter can unlock doors to unimaginable possibilities. The market is hot, the demand is relentless, and the opportunity is fleeting. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the single most overlooked trait that separates a common 1984 D quarter from one worth nearly $1 million. Most collectors miss it entirely, and it's the difference between holding a coin and holding a fortune. Stay with me, because missing this detail could cost you everything. If you want, I can expand this script fully to a 10-minute, minute-by-minute faceless video script with built-in visual cues, on-screen text suggestions, and tension-building cliffhangers to keep viewers glued until the last second. It will be polished, high-demand, and emotionally compelling for your 30 to 65-year-old wealthy audience. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that its value could change the course of your financial destiny. Today, we're diving into one of the most coveted treasures in American numismatics, the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. You may think, it's just a quarter, but what if I told you this very coin could fetch nearly $973,000 on the market today? That's right, almost $1 million resting in the palm of your hand. Before we go further, take a moment and ask yourself, could the coin you casually toss in your drawer be worth more than your car, your vacation, even your house? Yes, this is the power of rare coins. And if you've ever wondered how ordinary coins can turn into extraordinary fortunes, stay with me. By the end of this video, you might never look at change the same way again. The story of the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter is not just about minting, it's about scarcity, history, and chance. Struck at the Denver Mint, these quarters were part of a routine production line. Millions of quarters were produced that year, yet a very small fraction holds a mysterious error or a minting variation that makes them incredibly rare. That rarity is what drives collectors and investors into a frenzy. Imagine being in a small auction room, watching bidders compete, each knowing that this coin could be the one that completes their collection, or transforms their investment portfolio overnight. The excitement is palpable, the tension almost unbearable, and that's exactly what makes this coin so thrilling. Now, let me ask you, have you ever felt that spark of fear and excitement at the same time? That little thrill that whispers, you might be holding something priceless? That's what collectors experience when they spot a 1988 D quarter in pristine condition, with the perfect strike, untouched surfaces, and unmistakable mint mark. This coin doesn't just sit on a shelf, it commands attention, respect, and jaw-dropping prices in the high-end market. And speaking of the market, here's where things get even more astonishing. While a standard 1988 quarter is nearly everywhere, the ones with that unique mint error, those flawless specimens, are in extremely limited supply. Supply is tiny. Demand is massive. And when scarcity meets desire, values skyrocket. We're talking nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $973,000. The kind of money that can redefine your lifestyle, open doors to elite investment circles, and give you a story that others only dream about. A quarter for nearly $1 million? Are you joking? Well, no, I'm not. And if you laughed, that's okay, that's exactly why I love numismatics. It surprises you, shocks you, and sometimes makes you question reality. But the truth is, these coins exist, and the question is, could one of them be in your possession right now? Maybe tucked away in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection you haven't touched in decades. Here's the part that really matters. The market for rare coins is hotter than ever. Collectors, investors, and wealthy enthusiasts are scanning every auction, estate sale, and collection for these elusive 1988 D Washington quarters. And every day you wait, someone else might be claiming the fortune that could have been yours. Think about it, while you're watching this video, another coin just changed hands for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The opportunity doesn't wait. So what should you do? First, examine your collection. Look closely at your quarters. Check mint marks, condition, and any irregularities. And then, act. Because in this world, hesitation can cost more than you realize. Remember, the thrill of discovery is nothing compared to the satisfaction of owning a piece of history, a coin so rare, so in demand, that it could redefine your financial future. Even among these 1988 D quarters, some are more valuable than others, hidden features, errors, or unique characteristics that could multiply their worth exponentially. Imagine owning not just $1 million coin, but one that stands apart even from other rare specimens. That story, that secret, could be yours. Are you ready to uncover what might be hiding in your collection and claim your place among the elite few who truly understand the power of rare coins? This script runs roughly 10 minutes when narrated slowly, with pauses for dramatic effect, seamless visual transitions, and occasional B-roll of coins, auctions, and historical footage. It uses suspense, fear of missing out, and excitement to keep viewers hooked from start to finish. If you want, I can also create a version with timed visual cues, pattern interrupt suggestions, and cliffhanger markers that make the video even more dynamic and watchable for 10 full minutes. Imagine holding a piece of history so rare, so coveted, that it could instantly change your financial future. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 1967 Washington quarter dollar, the one with no mint mark, a coin so rare, its current market value is an astonishing $984,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a coin that many overlooked for decades. Now, picture this: millions of coins were minted in 1967, but only a fraction escaped the hands of collectors who truly understood their worth. Could you be holding the next fortune in your pocket or drawer? Let's rewind to 1967, a time when the United States was in the midst of immense cultural and social change. The Washington quarter, already a staple of American currency, took on a quiet significance. But here's the twist: that year, the U.S. Mint produced coins without a mint mark, a decision that would unknowingly create one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. You see, coins from Philadelphia typically bore no mint mark, but collectors realized decades later that these specific quarters carried anomalies, subtle differences that turned ordinary change into astronomical wealth. And here's a question for you: could a single coin you overlooked years ago now be your ticket to financial independence? Now, let's talk numbers. The 1967 no-mint mark Washington quarter is not just rare, it's in incredibly high demand. Collectors and investors are paying eye-watering amounts, and with its current market value hovering at $984,000, it's clear why everyone is hunting for it. Imagine discovering a coin like this in a drawer, a forgotten collection, or even loose change, knowing that it could be worth nearly $1 million. Your heart races just thinking about it, doesn't it? That is the thrill of rare coin collecting. And here's where it gets even more exciting. The scarcity of this coin combined with a growing market means prices could soar even higher. In other words, the opportunity to act is now. Delaying could mean watching someone else claim what could have been yours. This is where your story could intersect with history. If you've got a 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a legacy, a chance to step into the elite circle of million-dollar collectors. But be warned, coins like this move fast. Auctions, private collectors, and high-end dealers are always on the lookout, and when one appears, the competition is fierce. Could you imagine the regret of holding a coin worth nearly $1 million and not knowing its true value? That fear alone should push you to take action. And while we're on the topic, here's a quick thought to reset your brain. Did you know some people have found millionaire coins inside old jars of pennies? Yes, a casual weekend cleanout could be your breakthrough moment. So, what's next? You need to have your coins appraised, authenticated, and presented to the right audience. Timing is everything, and in the world of rare coins, hesitation can cost you dearly. The 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter isn't just a coin, it's an opportunity, a story of wealth, history, and prestige wrapped in a tiny, silver disc. And here's the cliffhanger. Imagine the coin you currently own could be the next $984,000 masterpiece. Could it be yours? Only one way to find out. If you want, I can also craft a version with visual cues and timestamps for a full 10-minute faceless video, including where to insert images, zoom-ins, transitions, and emotional music cues to maximize engagement and retention. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could change your life forever. Yes, a single quarter, something most of us use every day without a second thought, could be worth nearly $1 million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1979 D-Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin that has captivated collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across the United States. But before we get into the mind-blowing details, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered if the loose change jingling in your pocket might be hiding a fortune? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you may never look at your spare coins the same way again. The story of the 1979 D quarter begins in Denver, where meticulous craftsmanship and a rare minting error combined to create what is now considered one of the most valuable coins in modern numismatics. On the surface, it looks like an ordinary Washington quarter, but this coin is extraordinary. Its D-Mint mark, perfectly placed yet subtly different from the norm, is a rare variation that only a select few coins from that year exhibit. And in the coin world, rarity isn't just a word, it's a golden ticket. Imagine the thrill of knowing that something you might have casually tossed in a drawer decades ago could now command an awe-inspiring $953,000 in today's market. That's not just money, that's life-changing wealth now. You might be thinking, sure, but how many of these exist? The truth will surprise you. Far fewer than you'd imagine. Collectors scour every corner of the country, attending estate sales, combing through dusty coin jars, and even inspecting rolls from banks, all hunting for this elusive treasure. And here's the kicker: every single year, more potential fortune slips through people's fingers simply because they didn't know what they had. Can you picture the frustration of discovering that you threw away your golden ticket decades ago? Or the excitement of finding it hidden in plain sight? That tension, the fear of missing out and the exhilaration of discovery, is what makes coins like the 1979 D Washington quarter not just valuable, but legendary. Let's pause for a second. Imagine explaining to a friend that the very quarter they handed you as a tip could be worth almost $1 million. They'd probably laugh, right? But that's exactly the kind of story collectors live for, moments where humor, disbelief, and sheer astonishment collide. And while some may chuckle, others are busy making one of the most strategic financial moves of their lives. Because unlike stocks or real estate, coins like this are tangible, enduring, and in incredibly high demand. The market doesn't just reward collectors, it rewards those who act decisively when opportunity knocks. And the window of opportunity? It's narrower than you think. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Every detail of this coin, the weight, the finish, the exact angle of the mint mark, matters. A single imperfection can mean the difference between a collector's curiosity and a multi-million-dollar transaction. And as demand skyrockets, so does competition. Imagine receiving a call tomorrow offering you nearly $1 million for something that's been sitting in your drawer for decades. Heart racing, palms sweating, mind spinning, would you know what to do? That's the kind of urgency that defines the rare coin market. And trust me, opportunities like this wait for no one. But let's not forget the thrill of the hunt. There's a certain magic in knowing that among millions of quarters minted that year, only a handful can claim this level of prestige. Owning one isn't just a financial windfall, it's an invitation into an elite circle of collectors and investors who understand the art, the history, and the excitement of numismatics. Each 1979 D Washington quarter carries a story, a narrative of craftsmanship, rarity, and unrelenting demand. And if you've ever dreamed of transforming a simple possession into a fortune, this is the story that proves it's possible. So, what should you do if you discover a 1979 D quarter in your possession? The answer is simple, yet profound: act decisively. Seek out expert appraisals, connect with trusted buyers, and understand that in this market, hesitation can cost you dearly. This isn't just about money, it's about seizing a life-changing opportunity, stepping into a legacy of collectors, and claiming a piece of history that has become a modern-day treasure. Why now? You might be feeling that rush of excitement, that tinge of fear, and that irresistible pull to take action. And that's exactly the point. The 1979 D Mint Mark Washington quarter isn't just a coin, it's a story, a challenge, and a potential gateway to wealth that few ever experience. The final question is, will this story end with someone else holding your fortune, or will it be you, savoring the thrill of discovery, the joy of ownership, and the certainty that a simple quarter changed your life forever? The choice and the moment is now. If you want, I can also create a version timed perfectly for 10 minutes, with natural pacing, emotional emphasis, and built-in pauses for visuals, sound effects, and pattern interrupt moments to make it feel cinematic and irresistibly engaging. Have you ever held a piece of history in your hand and realized it could change your life forever? Imagine picking up a coin from your loose change drawer and discovering it's worth nearly $1 million. Today, we're diving into one of the most astonishing and elusive treasures of American currency, the 1990 D Washington quarter. While most people see a simple 25-cent piece, collectors and investors see a golden opportunity, a chance to step into the world of unimaginable wealth. But here's the kicker: this coin isn't just rare, it's almost legendary. Its market value has soared to an eye-popping $974,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million for a coin that could be hiding in your own home now. Before you start frantically searching your couch cushions, let's take a moment. Why does this coin command such awe and demand? And more importantly, how can you identify if you're holding a potential fortune without wasting time on costly mistakes? Stick around, because what we're about to uncover could change the way you look at every coin in your collection, and the clock is ticking. The 1990 D Washington quarter isn't just another quarter, it's a testament to the quirks of minting and the thrill of rarity. Minted at the Denver facility, this quarter carries a mark that few have mastered to perfection. Experts and seasoned collectors alike know that the smallest anomalies, like a subtle doubling, an off-center strike, or an unusual die crack, can skyrocket a coin's value overnight. And this isn't speculation, it's proven. The demand for this coin has reached fever pitch among collectors, investors, and even museums. People are willing to pay handsomely just for the chance to own a piece of history. You might be thinking, a quarter? Really? But that's exactly what makes this coin so intriguing. Most people dismiss it as everyday pocket change, which creates a rare window of opportunity for those who recognize its true potential. Picture it: while others throw away, you're quietly building a collection that could make millionaires out of ordinary citizens. And here's a little secret: the longer you wait, the rarer and more expensive this coin becomes. Timing, as in every great investment, is everything. And speaking of secrets, here's a question for you: did you know that one of these quarters recently sold at auction for almost $1 million? I'll tell you exactly how that happened in just a moment, but first, let's explore what makes collectors desperate to get their hands on this specific 1990 D quarter. It all comes down to scarcity and perfection. The 1990 D Washington quarter is extremely rare in pristine, uncirculated condition. The market doesn't just reward collectors for owning one, it reveres them. Coins like these are no longer just collectibles, they are investments, almost like tangible gold, capable of transforming a portfolio overnight. Imagine the pride of holding something that people across the nation, even the world, are actively searching for. And yet, there's an urgency here. Every day, these coins vanish into private collections, never to surface again. The window to claim one is narrowing, and hesitation could cost you dearly. And now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Think of this not just as a coin, but as a key. A key to a world of exclusive collectors, high-stakes auctions, and life-changing wealth. Those who recognize its potential now will stand on the shoulders of history. Those who wait, well, they'll watch the opportunity slip away while the value climbs into the stratosphere. And believe me, it's climbing faster than most people realize. So, what should you do if you believe you might already own one of these treasures? The first step is authentication. The second step is understanding the market, and the third, well, let's just say that the final step could make your financial dreams a reality. This is not a drill. This is your chance to step into a world where a simple coin isn't just currency, it's power, prestige, and life-changing wealth. But here's the cliffhanger. In the next segment, we'll reveal the one overlooked detail that separates a coin worth a few dollars from one worth nearly $1 million. It's a tiny feature that most people miss completely, but collectors pay fortunes to find it. So, before you go rummaging through your change, ask yourself, could a 1990 Washington quarter be the key to a fortune you never imagined? Are you ready to see if you're holding history in your hand? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll show you exactly how to spot the subtle signs that turn a humble quarter into a millionaire maker. The opportunity is here, but it won't wait forever. If you want, I can also write the exact timestamps and pacing breakdown for this 10-minute video so it perfectly matches narration speed, dramatic pauses, and pattern interrupts to maximize viewer retention. It will make your script production ready. Imagine holding a single coin in your hand, a coin that most people toss into a jar without a second thought. Now, imagine that coin could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, I'm talking about the 1998 D-Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar. For decades, quarters have been the quiet companions of American life, jingling in pockets, forgotten in drawers, and yet, hidden among them lies a rare treasure that could transform a lifetime. You may be sitting on it right now, and not even know it. Scary thought, right? Or exciting, depending on which side of the story you're on. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1998, the world is buzzing with the Y2K scare, music is blasting from Walkmans, and the Washington quarter continues its quiet journey in circulation. But for one particular mint mark, something extraordinary happened. The D-Mint mark, a tiny letter that most would never notice, became the difference between ordinary change and an object of extraordinary wealth. And that's where the story begins, right at your fingertips. And now, here's where most people will stop scrolling and miss the opportunity of a lifetime. The 1998 D Washington quarter isn't just a coin, it's a rare collector's dream. Its current market value is a staggering $945,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, nearly $1 million. Imagine what that could mean: retirement dreams realized, debts erased, or that long-awaited adventure around the world finally becoming a reality. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What makes this coin so special? It's not just the year or the design, it's a combination of rarity, demand, and the perfect storm of minting anomalies. Coins like this don't just exist, they are hunted, coveted, and fought over in the world of collectors. And here's the kicker: many of these coins are hiding in plain sight. You could have one tucked in a drawer, a jar, or even among the coins in your car's cup holder. Funny thought, isn't it? That your cup holder might be a vault for nearly $1 million. Collectors, investors, and dealers alike are on the hunt for this coin. Its scarcity alone drives urgency. Every day that passes, more quarters vanish into collections, vaults, and private hands. If you've ever dreamed of selling a coin for a life-changing sum, now is the moment to act. Waiting could mean losing an opportunity that comes once in a generation, but here's the part that makes this story almost unbelievable. Even experts sometimes overlook these coins. They're hidden in everyday life, unassuming, ordinary, but for those who recognize their value, they are extraordinary. The 1998 D Washington quarter is not just currency, it is history, legacy, and wealth wrapped in silver and copper. And here's the exciting part: one simple step could reveal if the coin in your possession is the very one collectors would pay nearly $1 million to acquire. And now, picture yourself discovering this coin. The rush, the disbelief, the moment where the realization hits: this isn't just change. This is a doorway to a life you've imagined but never thought possible. And here's a little secret most people don't realize: time is running out. Every coin that leaves circulation, every collector who secures one, shrinks the opportunity. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find your treasure. So, what should you do next? Examine your collection, your change jar, your old coin boxes. Look closely at the mint marks, check the details, and pay attention to the tiniest features. Because one of these quarters could be the key to unlocking unimaginable wealth. Will it be yours? That's for you to discover, and in the next few moments, we'll reveal exactly how you can identify the rare 1998 D Washington quarter and what steps to take to secure its full value. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. If you want, I can also expand this into a full 10-minute read with natural pacing, suspenseful pauses, and micro cliffhangers every 1 to 2 minutes, perfect for a faceless video narration that keeps viewers glued to the screen until the very end. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that could change your life forever. A simple quarter, minted in 1998, with the familiar P marking of the Philadelphia Mint, might just be worth more than your entire savings account. You might be thinking, a quarter? Seriously? But by the end of this video, you'll see why collectors and investors are willing to pay nearly $1 million for this very coin. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could transform your understanding of wealth and maybe even your own financial future. The discovery in 1998, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Washington quarters, each designed with precision, each intended for everyday use. But in the world of rare coins, ordinary isn't enough. Hidden within those billions of coins lies a small group with a unique anomaly, a minting characteristic so subtle that most would overlook it entirely. Yet, it's precisely this rarity that drives its value to astonishing heights. Imagine a coin that could be casually picked out from a pocket change jar today and later be worth $965,000. Can you feel your heart racing just thinking about it? That's not just excitement, that's the thrill of opportunity knocking right at your door. And here's where the story gets even more interesting. Act 2, the secrets behind the value. What makes this 1998 P Washington quarter so highly coveted isn't just its age or its mint mark. It's a combination of factors that only the most knowledgeable collectors truly understand. The coin's condition, the subtle imperfections, and its rarity in the market create a perfect storm of value. But here's the twist, coins like these don't sit around waiting for you. They're traded in secret auctions, bought by investors who know the story behind every tiny scratch and every gleam of silver. You might ask yourself, could this really be mine? The answer, if you're attentive and informed, might surprise you. And before we move on, let me ask, have you ever held something in your hand that was worth more than most people earn in a lifetime? The urgency and action the moment you realize the potential of this coin, a sense of urgency hits. These treasures are not just rare, they're disappearing from circulation faster than ever. Every day, someone else discovers one and secures their place among the elite collectors. You're no longer just watching a story unfold, you're witnessing a window of opportunity that could close at any second. And here's the most exciting part, with the right guidance, that quarter could become your key to extraordinary wealth. But remember, fortune favors the prepared. The collectors who act quickly, who understand the significance of these coins, are the ones who walk away with fortunes that change their lives forever. So, what do you do next? You start paying attention, you start learning, and you start seeking. Because in the world of rare coins, knowledge is power, and timing is everything. And just imagine, years from now, holding that 1998 P Washington quarter, knowing that it isn't just a coin, it's a story, a legacy, and perhaps your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle most people only dream about. Before we wrap up, here's a little secret, many people dismiss coins like this as just change. But the truth? They're walking past gold mines every day. And maybe, just maybe, one of those gold mines could be sitting quietly in your own collection, waiting for you to uncover its staggering value. If you want, I can also expand this into a full 10-minute script with timed cues, pattern interrupts, subtle humor, and emotional beats throughout, so it's ready to record as a faceless video. This version is high impact, but the extended version will maximize viewer retention and suspense. The world of rare coins is a treasure trove of secrets, and today, we're unlocking one of the most astonishing finds in American numismatics, the 1992 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. At first glance, it might look like any quarter in your pocket, but what if I told you that a single, pristine coin could be worth nearly $1 million, $974,000 to be exact? Yes, you heard that correctly. One coin, one moment, one opportunity that could transform your life forever. Imagine holding history in your hand while simultaneously holding the key to unimaginable wealth. Picture this. countless Americans walking past a coin that could change everything. They see a quarter, a familiar face, George Washington looking back at them, but they have no idea of the treasure they pass by. That's the thrill and the fear of missing out in the rare coin world. The 1992 D Mint Mark quarter isn't just rare, it's a masterpiece of minting perfection, coveted by collectors and investors alike. And here's the kicker, the market for coins like this is hotter than ever. Demand is skyrocketing, and those who act now are the ones who could reap extraordinary rewards. And now, let's take a moment to marvel at the story behind this incredible coin. The D Mint mark, representing the Denver Mint, is more than a letter, it's a symbol of precision, history, and scarcity. In 1992, just a fraction of quarters were struck in a condition that today commands nearly $1 million. Imagine the journey of this coin, forged in metal, stamped with the image of a founding father, and decades later, standing as a beacon of opportunity in the hands of a discerning collector. It's almost poetic, unless you're the one who overlooked it in your change jar. Ever find $1 in a coat pocket and think, what if this is my ticket to a new life? Well, this coin is that, multiplied 1,000 times, but here's where it gets really fascinating, because rarity alone doesn't create this astronomical value. It's the perfection, the condition, the story collectors crave. A coin like this is so pristine that even the slightest flaw would dramatically reduce its value. That's why every collector, every investor, every coin enthusiast is watching, waiting, and calculating their next move. And if you're listening to this now, you're on the cusp of entering a world where fortune favors the bold. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine telling your friends, I found a coin worth nearly $1 million, and watching their jaws drop. Feels good, right? But this isn't just about bragging rights. This is about seizing opportunity. The market is moving fast, and coins like the 1992 D Mint Mark quarter are vanishing from circulation, landing in private collections where they won't resurface for decades. The urgency is real. Each day you hesitate is a day someone else could claim a fortune that could have been yours. What if the coin you already own, maybe tucked away in a dusty drawer or forgotten in a jar, could be this coin? Could be your $974,000 breakthrough. It's a tantalizing possibility that keeps collectors awake at night, and the reality is, opportunities like this don't wait. They reward those who recognize their value and act decisively, but the story doesn't end here, oh no. This is where the intrigue intensifies. The 1992 D Mint Mark Washington quarter has been turning heads in auctions, commanding attention in private sales, and setting records that collectors only dream of. People are willing to pay extraordinary sums for a piece of history they can hold, admire, and ultimately pass down for generations. Owning a coin like this isn't just an investment, it's a legacy. And as we move toward the conclusion of our journey, you'll see why now, more than ever, is the perfect time to discover, evaluate, and act. Before we reveal the most astonishing fact about this coin, let's take a deep breath and appreciate the excitement of the chase. The market is dynamic, the demand is fierce, and the possibilities are endless. Coins like the 1992 D Mint Mark Washington quarter are more than currency, they're gateways to dreams, status, and financial freedom. And the truth is, the next $1 million coin could be closer than you think, maybe even in your own collection. So, as we reach the final act of our story, here's the cliffhanger. Collectors worldwide are on high alert, auctions are intensifying, and the scarcity of this coin is only growing. Will you be the one to recognize the value before it slips through your fingers? The opportunity is here, the moment is now, and the 1992 D Mint Mark Washington quarter awaits the discerning eye ready to transform history into fortune. Hold it, cherish it, and perhaps, just perhaps, become the next guardian of a nearly $1 million treasure.